Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestling Debate and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And yeah, a packed show today. We had loads of big matches on there, including finally getting the title unification match. And yeah, plenty of other stuff. The next pay-per-view is coming around soon, Hell in a Cell. So yeah, all building up to that really. So let's get straight into it. And we kicked off with the Bloodline. And after a recap of their encounter with RK-Bro last week, the Tribal Chief said the Bloodline would ascend to the greatest of all time tonight. Heyman then compared Reigns to Brock Lesnar, John Cena, etc., and said that the Usos would join him at the top of the food chain, beating RK-Bro to become the undisputed champs. Heyman even added that if the Usos did not win tonight, they would not be coming back to the Islands of Relevancy. Reigns wished his cousins luck, and we saw Sami Zayn in a Bloodline t-shirt joining in on the celebration before heading out for the first match of the night. But yeah, this was a good start to SmackDown, really, just putting over the Bloodline massively. It's all you need to do to kick off SmackDown a good way. Before we got Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, as I was alluding to, Zayn started off with a headlock, but Nakamura reversed the hold and got some kicks in. Nakamura then got a knee drop to take a clothesline. Zayn was caught on the top rope before dropping Nakamura, but the latter dropped Zayn as well before he could hit a move. Zayn then dodged a Kinshasa, but took an elbow before he headed for a break. Back on SmackDown, Nakamura got a rope-assisted sunset bomb before Zayn tried to run away. The latter managed to hit a Michinoku driver on the outside before trying to get the count out, but Nakamura got back to the ring. Nakamura then sent Zayn into the timekeeper's area and then set up for the Kinshasa, waiting for Zayn to get back in the ring. He barely beat the referee's count, but took the Kinshasa to the face before going down for free. And yeah, good to see he get the victory here. Zayn can always eat a loss, can't he, with his character, so it doesn't make too much difference. And yeah, decent match, of course it would be between these two, so get 6 out of 10 from me. Happy Corbin was out next on SmackDown, and he gloated about hurting his former best friend. He posed with Andre the Giant, the trophy, before running the footage back from last week and mentioning he was fine for it. Corbin then said Madcap Moss was ungrateful and said that he was a really big bad wolf before smashing the Andre the Giant trophy, but only on the base of it before posing with the top statuette. And yeah, to be honest, it's kind of one of those ones where you just want the feud to be over, and hopefully it will be at Hell in a Cell. It's okay, but yeah, time to move on. Ludwig Kaiser in his comical German accent was back to introduce Gunther, he was facing Drew Gulak again. The match began during the commercials, and Gunther was in control early on, tossing Gulak around. Gulak tried for a chop of his own, but got struck down right away. Gunther hit Gulak with more chops before diving him into that and picking up a powerbomb for the victory. After the match, Gunther locked in the Boston Crab before Ricochet came out to stop him, but Gunther and Kaiser fled the ring. Gunther versus Ricochet, that would be a great first match for him, and I hope you see that. So yeah, that would be good. And just move away from squash matches now. So yeah, I'd like to see that. 6 out of 10. A man who looked suspiciously like LA Knight from NXT walked into Alex Pearce's office and introduced himself as Max Dupree, CFA as some strange talent agency. He claimed that he had a contract with WWE, but Pearce knew nothing about it. It turned out Sonya Deville had made a deal when she was still in charge, and Adam Pearce was probably going to have to go along with it. But why can't you just call... Oh my god, why can't just call him LA Knight? Please, gee... Moving on. Backstage, RK-Bro was very confident about the tag team title unification match tonight. Before Shotzi and Lee were arguing backstage when Raquel Rodriguez came in and Shotzi got in her face as they headed for a match. Rodriguez lifted Shotzi and took her to the corner before lifting her with one arm and dropping her on the mat. Shotzi came back with a kick but was dropped on the turnbuckle. She climbed on Rodriguez's back and tried for a hold, but was driven to the corner. Shotzi then got some big kicks and a diving runner was caught into a follow-away slam. Rodriguez then knocked Shotzi around the wing before getting the Shinoga bomb for the victory. And Jack gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Really good. Another good win for Raquel Rodriguez, and so far WWE has done a really good job with her. So yeah, long may that continue. 6 out of 10. Xavier Woods versus Butch was up next. Woods had the early advantage and sent Butch to the floor before getting a dive. Butch then got some moves of his own and knocked in a headlock before Woods broke through and hit the honor roll. Woods tried for a springboard move but caught a big strike before going down. The king of the ring then came with backwards off a counter and got a small package cover for the victory. Butch attacked Woods after the match on the ramp before his team dragged him away. And after the match, Woods said he wanted to pick a partner to join him and Kofi Kingston and face Fight Night in a 6-man tag team match. And yeah, to be honest, it's kind of the same stuff that we've seen last week, and Butch winning and now losing again. Yeah, it kind of feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. We then learned that following Sasha Banks and Naomi's walkout incident, the two had to be suspended indefinitely and there would be tournaments crowned women's tag team champions. This is all just so public. yeah, it's really strange. It kind of makes me think it's a work, even though it's probably not. But yeah, it just seems all bitter and everything like that. And yeah, it's very strange. But we'll have to see where it goes. But then anyway, next up was RK Bro versus Usos in the unification match. Riddle and Jimmy Uso kicked off the match, and the original Bro got the first few takedowns. Riddle took Jimmy into the corner before Latter finally came back with some strikes. Riddle seemed to have an injury as the match was paused and we headed for a break. Back on SmackDown, we learned Riddle had bruised hips, but the bout continued. Riddle was isolated, but managed to make a tag on Randy, who came in and got an RKO off near fall. Jey Uso came in, and as did Riddle, with the latter hitting a senton and taking a neck break from the Uso. Riddle tried for a top rope RKO, but Roman Reigns came in and dropped him while the ref was looking away. Jey got the frog splash off the distraction and picked up the win. RK Bro were being brutalised by Reigns and Usos after the match, and the Tribal Chief set Riddle up on the announce desk before Jey hit him with a frog splash and sent him through it. And yeah, this is really putting over the bloodline once and for all. Obviously, it's controversial circumstances, so it leaves it open to a rematch or two. But you know, still really good. Good match. And yeah, the bloodline reigning supreme as they should. 7 out of 10 from me. Overall this week, SmackDown gets a 6 out of 10 from me. And yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, it was a very middling to poor show, really, until the main event, which was really good. Loved it. And so yeah, it probably gets it from a 5 out of 10 to 6 out of 10, because yeah, the main event was just so good, and it's so good to see the Usos on top. And that's all we wanted to see, really. So yeah, on the whole, mid-episode on SmackDown for most, but ended on a high. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Notice what's coming down in the front. So things description for daily football news and sponsor my channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.